Hi everyone, my name's Jocelyn. This is gonna be my first YouTube video. I had one posted before, but I took that down. Not even gonna say what it was. It was me singing, but yeah. Um, anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm starting this just because this whole quarantine thing is going on, so I figured, why not just make some YouTube videos, just to kind of help pass some time and everything. So I can give you a little bit about me. Obviously, since this is the first video, I got to give you something. So, yeah, my name's Jocelyn. I live here, Chicago. So, that's where I am. Let's see, some things I like to do. Well, I do have plants. I can show you guys that later on. But I do have plants and I love growing things. I started growing things about a year ago. And so far it's going really well. I know the first time I started it was a year ago, and my first batch that I was doing was going really great up until I noticed some bugs were going onto my plants after I put some eggshells in there, which, by the way, if you ever do that, please wash out the eggshells. I did not wash them, and essentially my plants got salmonella on them, which resulted in me having to figure out, okay, how do I make an organic pesticide for them, because my soil was organic, the seeds are organic. Not that I am like opposed to regular like GMO foods or whatnot. It's just something I prefer. If I can just get it organic, why not? It's just a little bit healthier in my perspective. So I tried to do like a soapy water solution is supposed to help out, and it ended up like killing all of my plants in the matter of like 24 hours, and that was like a whole month's worth of work. So that was really a bummer when it did happen. But I'm living in the learning, still kind of doing the plant thing. I do have a lot more than I did before. May have bitten off definitely more than I can chew, but we're kind of going, just kind of going with it for now. With this whole coronavirus thing, we don't know how long this pandemic is going to go on. And I'm vegan, so a lot of the times when I go to the store to go get groceries, a lot of the produce that I use is out, or it's left, only the produce that's like gonna expire soon or doesn't look like it's as fresh anymore. So I figured, why not just grow my own produce and stuff, which thankfully I have like a bunch of produce that I'm starting to grow, and all my seedlings are starting to grow, which is amazing. But I do have too much, but luckily I do have a big family because I am Mexican, so they are more than happy to just take some produce off my hands if need be. So that's really cool that I can kind of help them out. And then too, when I get some neighbors, right now where I'm living at, there's a lot of yard space. We don't really have neighbors at all. Like the nearest house is like a whole maybe like 5-6 houses worth of space down, so it's kind of a little bit of a long ways down. Our house is just like on a corner, but there's a lot of lawn. So yeah, we don't really have neighbors right now, but I figured once we move into a bigger place, which should be in the next couple months here, we'll have a lot more room to kind of like put our plants up and everything. We can do all that. So yeah, that's a little bit about my plants. I guess that was kind of a lot, but yeah, like I said, I can upload a video later on about what plants I'm using, what I'm doing, in case that's something you guys want to know about. Just kind of just some tips or whatever that I've been using, or at least something that works for me anyways. And if anybody has any like critiques on like, oh, maybe you can try this instead for your plants, or if you guys have any tips for plants and you grow any, like, please let me know. I'm always open. I'm an open book, so just whatever works. I mean, I'm not opposed to trying something out. So that other than that, I am a big Animal Crossing fan, so obviously I got the New Horizon version for the Nintendo Switch. I've been playing it non-stop, like every single day ever since it came out. Just the past like week here, I really haven't been playing it anymore. I was kind of reading some reviews about it, and a lot of them were saying that it's kind of pointless almost with the turnip prices, and they're so high, and you can almost essentially kind of buy out everything in the matter of just a couple of weeks, which I kind of get. I mean, the game only came out maybe a month ago, and I've already paid off the mortgage on my house, which is, I think, a little bit over 2 million bells. So, I mean, I kind of get what they're saying in that sense. It can be kind of a waste almost if you try to move too quickly. But the thing is, like, there's no storyline with the game, so it's not like you're leveling up every time. You're just kind of doing whatever you want, and it's probably like closely to a life game. So there's not really like chapters or anything. There's no like points where you gotta get. There's no like saving spots or whatnot like in other games, and then you level up all the way until you get to the end. Pretty much the end is whenever you're done playing the game, because there's so much stuff to still do on there besides just upgrade your house. You know, you can make friends on there with the animals that you live with. You can invite people in. There's plenty of like fish and like animals you can catch. You got a museum, you can donate all those to museum. There's a bunch of stuff to do on there. I know one of my friends was like not getting the game because he thinks that it's like adult kid version of doing chores. No. I mean, I get it. I do see why he would think that it's like chores, because you do pay off rent, or your mortgage. In a sense, you pay off your mortgage for the house that Tom Nook is building you. But you do get to do your own island. You know, you got to pluck the weeds, keep it clean and whatnot, and you can like do different designs on them, so that way your island is really specific to what exactly you want. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to it. I don't speak for them or anything, and I'm not getting paid to like say anything about them, but just to give you guys some information. If you do play that too, I mean, you can, I am more than willing to talk or add people that I can play with on there. I do have a couple friends on there already that I play with sometimes. But yeah, I'm not opposed to adding new people on there. Other than that, let's see, topic point. My next one was going to be daily life. That's I mean, that's pretty much all I do for right now, because, you know, like I said, the whole quarantine thing, not really much to do. My family does live a little bit farther. They're about an hour and a half away from me, so it's not like an easy trip back and forth if I did want to go visit them for anything. So most times I do just stay at home, or I like to go walk around at parks. Right now we have 2 dogs, so, you know, I can kind of keep occupied with them as well. They're not my pets, they're my significant other's pets. But once we get our own place, we're gonna get a dog, so that'll be exciting. If you guys have any recommendations for a dog, it's probably gonna be an apartment. So obviously not something that needs like a vast whole like orchard of a yard would be preferred. But we were thinking either like a Pomeranian or like a Pomsky, or I've seen a mix of like a Chihuahua and a Pomeranian, so maybe that. I also like weenie dogs. Those are really cute. I used to have a weenie dog. He's absolutely amazing. Unfortunately I don't have him anymore because I moved out, so, you know, I couldn't take him with me where I was going, so I did have to leave him behind. But I do have some experience with those. He doesn't really like pit bulls just because he had a bad experience with them a while ago. I love them. I grew up with them. Those have been like my main pet my entire life, up until maybe like 2 or 3 years ago I finally got the weenie dog. So other than that, pit bulls have always been like my go-to pet. I mean, I think they're just big cuddly bears. I know that some of them, you know, can be rude, but personally I think that's more of you know, the people who raise them, because I mean, you can teach any dog to be vicious. I mean, honestly, you really can. And especially the pit bull breed, you know, obviously they can be taught to be vicious. But honestly, if they get the right care and, you know, you raise them the right way and you train them and teach them, you know, how to be nice and how to be playful with people and other animals, they're really nice. I know all of the pit bulls that I've ever had have been like the nicest dogs ever. Like, they would not bite anybody, show their bark, because I mean, they're dogs and they're pit bulls, and, you know, they're gonna bark or they're gonna growl. They do that, but I promise you, like, every single one of them would not bite you for anything. They'll just get really excited and really happy to see new people. They love new faces. And that's because we teach them to be nice. You know, we don't want them biting people or barking at people whenever it's just kind of obnoxious. So yeah, but anyways, back to daily life. Yeah, other than that, I pretty much do all those. Sometimes I sing, sometimes I, you know, just dance. I do play the flute as well. I don't really play it anymore, but I did play it throughout my whole life, pretty much. Ever since like 5th grade is when I first started. And I played it all the way through high school. So I did that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything about me so far. I mean, if there's anything you guys want to talk about this page, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it. You know, just kind of whatever goes through my life, or if I have some like tips or something cool that I learned, like, I will post it on here. So just something that kind of just keeps you entertained. I'll probably be posting like a painting video. I could post me like singing one time. I'll probably post a little bit about my plants and stuff like that because I do like that. Yeah, other than that, I mean, if you guys have any recommendations on like stuff you'd like to see, or you know, maybe some cool ideas about what I could post about, you know, I could do that too. But that's all the stuff I pretty much do. I do makeup sometimes. I don't have any on right now because we are in quarantine, and I don't, you know, I'm not a big, like, huge, like, makeup person. Not that my makeup is not expensive, because what I do have is kind of pricey. But, you know, there's really no point in me putting it on if I'm not gonna go out. So just let my face breathe as much as I can. I got some zits growing on my head in case you can't see them, but that's okay. I think it's my diet. I've been eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because we're inside all the time. And not that I can't cook, but I just don't feel like it. So peanut butter and jelly sandwiches have been the go-to, and I think it might just be the oils in the peanut butter that maybe is killing it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to lay off the PB&Js for a while here. So we're gonna let that go. But other than that, yeah, like I said, I'm vegan. That didn't start up until 2 months ago, I believe, almost 3 months now. You know, wasn't really there wasn't a big motive for me to start that in the first place, other than my significant other. He's already vegan, so I figured, you know, it's going to be kind of hard if I'm eating like meats and cheeses and stuff like that, and you know, everything that is not a part of the vegan diet while he's eating the vegan diet. So I just figured, you know, that wouldn't really be fair, because you know, it's just different. And I figured, you know what, I'm willing to try it. I'm a little bit of a plus size person myself, so I figured, you know, that cuts out a lot of the stuff that maybe I should not be eating in the first place. So and it's really been helping. Like in the past 2 months that I have been on this diet, 2 or 3 months, it's almost been 3 months now, I have lost 20 pounds just from cutting out all that stuff. And honestly, I don't miss it at all. I would say the only thing I miss having sometimes is salmon. I am a big seafood person, but like the meat itself, like chicken and steak and stuff like that, was not hard at all for me to cut out. I used to eat meat like every day. It'd either be meat or cheese for like every meal. So that's probably what it was. But I think the most that I miss is probably salmon, because like I said, I'm a big seafood person. I miss having seafood. But I mean, the diet's working great for me. And I know before I used to tell my family like, oh, I can't eat that. And now I kind of see it as I won't, because I kind of understand where he's coming from. He does it because of like animal issues. Like he just doesn't think that that's right for animals to not have a choice whether they get to live or not. And I understand it. I mean, I believe too that like everything, you know, everybody and everything is put on here for a reason. Everybody has some kind of effect, good or bad, to the world. But no, I get it. I definitely do. I mean, I know when he talked to me about it, and I was kind of asking him like, what prompted you to do this, just so that I could learn. It wasn't me like criticizing, because I do want to look at both viewpoints as well. Like if I'm gonna make a point to argue about something, because I was trying to convince him at first that like, you know, it's not that bad. I mean, like salmon's good for you. It's really amazing for your like skin and your hair. And it's got like all these like vitamins in there, and it's really good for you. So I was kind of like trying to reason with him like, what if I was like pescatarian, so I could cut out like the other meats. I agree that like a lot of that stuff probably isn't good for you. So, you know, I was kind of trying to reason with him like, what if I just ate seafood, because I am a huge seafood fan. I love seafood more than like anything in the world. And I mean, I get it, because he would explain it to me and be like, well, like, it's kind of like cats and dogs, you know, other places around the world eat those, and we see it as like immorally wrong. Sorry, let me turn that on. See it as like immorally wrong for people to eat cats and dogs, because we see them as pets. So, you know, I kind of thought about it from there, and I was like, you know, you're kind of right. You know, any animal really has a right to live, even though they can't voice it, but that doesn't mean that they don't have like feelings and stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, I don't judge anybody. I'm not like going around like, oh, there's a meat eater or whatever. I mean, it's none of my business. I mean, you do you. It doesn't matter to me. I am a judgment-free zone. I won't judge you unless you're doing something like super critically bad, like going on a murdering spree. I might tell you that you're probably a psycho. But other than that, no, it's cool. Other than that, I mean, I really don't mind. Like my family will eat like all kinds of stuff in front of me. I mean, it doesn't really faze me anymore. They already know that I'm vegan. So, I mean, they don't do anything really about it. They don't really care. I mean, they asked me like why I did it, and I kind of said, you know, it's a good diet to be on. I eat a lot more vegetables, and you know, before when I first started it, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be eating like nothing but salads all the time. But there's so much stuff that I can still eat, and there's many more restaurants that I didn't know about that were actually like all vegan or had vegan options. And it's amazing. And like even the hair products that I use, I didn't even know it up until I checked the bottle, but all of the products that I use for like my face and my hair is all like animal cruelty free, or the bottles will tell it themselves, will say like vegan products. So that was an accident, but I'm glad that I got that head start there. I'm not like super vegan. I know there's a bunch of other people who are like very strict about like everything being vegan, like their clothing not being from any kind of animal, you know, stuff like that, or like their shoes being made from like animal products or whatnot. I'm not that, you know, wild about it. It's pretty much just whatever I'm consuming. Like the hair products, like I said, was just a lucky thing. Like I didn't even think to look to see if that was a vegan product or not, but they are, and they're really good for my hair. So I mean, there's no reason for me not to continue using them. Obviously they're already vegan, so I'm just going to continue using them. But yeah, that's pretty much everything here. I know, what do I eat most of the time? Mostly rice and beans. I mean, very vegan. Excuse me, I definitely burped on the inside. Very vegan. And you know, I mean, like I said, I'm Mexican, so it's not like rice and beans on my like menu every single day anyways. So I can have that. Like I said, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches I have all the time. This morning, Max, my other, I mentioned the other day that I wanted scrambled eggs for whatever reason, and I am like sick and tired of eggs because I used to eat them every single day. Because of the guy that I was with before him, like just loved eggs, and so I figured, you know, I'm making them for him, and I'm telling you, we would probably go through like 2 18-count, oh sorry, 2 18-count containers, I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the name, cartons, yeah, of eggs like every week, because he would want like 5 or 6 of them. And you know, this man isn't like bodybuilding where I would be like, oh yeah, like have all the eggs that you want, but he would just consume like 5-6 eggs for breakfast and then have like 5 or 6 more for dinner every single day. So that's what I was eating too, because I wasn't gonna like take the time to make his food first and then I have to make mine. And you know, we were in an apartment at that time, so we didn't have a lot of space for like groceries and stuff like that for me to be able to kind of pick out like, okay, this is what I'm gonna make for you, and then I'm gonna have to set aside time to make stuff for me. So eventually I got sick and tired of eggs. But the other day, like I was mentioning before, I like had a craving for eggs, and I was like, you know, it's not something that I would eat though, since I am vegan now. You know, I respect that. So what he did instead was he bought tofu and made it scrambled eggs. And I was like, I looked at it, that he made it for breakfast this morning, and I looked at it and I was like, oh wow, like this is definitely like the scrambled eggs that I wanted the other day. And I'm telling you, it was so good. Same thing I would say with like I said, I'm more of a seafood person, so like burgers and hot dogs. I hate hot dogs already. Like I have never really liked hot dogs. I'll eat them if it was like the last resort kind of thing, like there was nothing else to eat at a party or whatnot, sure, I'll have a hot dog then. But other than that, absolutely hated hot dogs. Like I just could not do it. And then like if people knew what that meat was, I'm sure most of people do, they just don't care, but I'm not eating that. Same thing with burgers. I'm not a big burger person. I don't know what it is. I used to really like burgers, honestly, and then like I don't know, I think maybe it was just having them too often, and it was kind of like I'm not really a burger person anymore. But like there's a place in Chicago, it's called Kitchen 17. They haven't paid me to advertise for them either, but if you guys ever get the chance, look them up. Kitchen 17. They have all vegan options, like their entire thing is vegan, or so I believe. Maybe some of their stuff might be vegetarian. I'm pretty sure it's all vegan though. But their burgers that they make there are beyond amazing. Like I have tasted vegan food that tastes way better than regular food. I mean, it's great. I love their burgers there. I'm not 100% sure what they make them from. just because I haven't really looked into like what the ingredients or what they use to make it that way. But I know that they use like cauliflower for like one of their patties, and it's amazing. I know some people might not like it. I would give it a try again. I'm not a big cauliflower fan either, but the way that they make it is like beyond amazing. Like, I love it. It's really good. So yeah, Kitchen 17, it's in Chicago. So it might be a little bit farther away. I don't know if they have other locations like around the nation. But if they do have other locations, I mean, go ahead and try it. It's really good. Their fries are amazing also. Like, wow. Like, I would definitely rate it the best fries I've had, honestly. I know that might spark some interesting conversations with other people, like, no, McDonald's is the best. No, McDonald's is probably like the crappiest fries I've ever tried. False. Wendy's fries are the shittiest fries I've ever tried. I'm sorry about saying the S word. I am trying to keep this PG. But no, Wendy's is probably the worst fries I've ever had. But I don't know what it is. Just, I can't do, like, even the McDonald's smell, like, just smelling it, like, when I'm driving, I can't do it. It's gagging, honestly. And it's another one of those things that I really used to like. Like, I would eat McDonald's almost every single day because of the job that I had before. I was out all the time, and basically I was driving for the company all the time. And I would have to drive coworkers that weren't able to drive, so I was driving everywhere. That's basically all I had for like lunch and dinner because it was an afternoon shift one. So it was kind of just different there. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. I do miss Taco Bell sometimes. I love Taco Bell. I don't know. Burger King's not as good as it used to be, I feel like. Though they do have the Impossible Burger. I have not tried that yet. But if anybody knows if it's good or not, you know, I've heard good reviews, but I've also heard mixed reviews on it. Like, some people say that it's good. Other people are kind of like, you know, I don't really know. So if it is something that I should try, I mean, maybe just, you know, let me know or whatever. I'll try it. I'll give it a try, and if you want me to, I can make a video of me trying it. Whatever works, honestly. Yeah, so I could do that. Yeah, otherwise, what was I saying? Right. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just like fast food places I can't really do anymore. I don't really miss it. I have really cut back probably for like the past year. I've really cut back on, you know, going to fast food restaurants just because it's so expensive in the long run. I mean, I know that it's like, you know, McDonald's, you can get it off of the dollar menu, which is not $1 anymore. But I mean, you add that up, you go like once or twice a day, every single day for like a whole month. I mean, and you don't just get one item, you know, nobody just gets one item. So it really just adds up. And I just was kind of finding myself like, no, it's really costing me a lot more to be eating out and going to all these fast food places as opposed to just making stuff for me. And not only that, but when I make stuff for me, I know what's in my food. You know, I can kind of portion it all out myself, as opposed to like the fast food places just kind of giving you whatever portion it is, and then you have to eat that, otherwise you're throwing food away. And me personally, I hate throwing food away. Like I mentioned before, I have a garden that I'm growing. And I accidentally have way too many tomatoes. I have 80 tomato plants growing by accident. And I say by accident because I did not read the instructions. There wasn't any instructions on the bag as to like if you're just supposed to sprinkle them on the soil or if you're supposed to plant like one seed at a time. So I sprinkled them, and then I counted them, and it said that, you know, every little sprout that comes up is one whole plant. So I have many of those, and they're already sprouted, and if I throw them away now, I just feel like it's kind of a waste. So I've talked to my family, like I said before, and, you know, many of them, probably most of them, like 90% of them, have agreed to take them off my hands. That way I'm not throwing them away. Because like I said, with this whole coronavirus thing, you know, the last thing I want to do is really throw food away when I'm already growing it, and I could just be giving it to somebody instead who might not have food, or maybe, you know, with people being out of jobs, maybe that they can't like afford groceries at the time right now. So whatever way I can really help with my food wise, and, you know, everything that I'm growing is gonna help out. Other than that, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. Yeah, when's the next one coming up? My next video, I'm not 100% sure yet. You know, I have to figure out if I can get some canvases in my hands, and I'm thinking maybe my next one will probably be me painting, and you guys can paint along with me if you want to. Eventually I'm planning on going live, so that'll be really fun if I can go live and, you know, paint with you guys or whatever. I don't really have social media anymore. I kind of just cut it out. I don't know what it is. Just something I'm not really interested in anymore. I just feel like a lot of social media can be very toxic, and I can't do that in my life. I just can't. I don't like negative vibes or anything. You know, it's just not really beneficial. I'm not really learning anything from social media, excluding news. I don't know if you count news social media or not, but I do keep up with like what's going on and everything through the news, because I don't have cable or anything, so I can't like watch the TV or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything. Yeah, I don't really have social media. I do have a TikTok that I just made not too long ago too, so that's fairly new. I do have a Snapchat. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I tried Twitter one time, wasn't working. Facebook is like the most toxic platform of like any other social media that I've ever seen. Like, my ex hacked into my Facebook account and was posting like all this crap about me, and like, I don't even know how he got my password. I honestly don't. Like, I changed it just so he couldn't get in, and he still somehow figured it out. That or it didn't save when I changed the password. I don't know. But yeah, it's very toxic. Same thing with Instagram. I don't know. I used to be a big fan of Instagram. But I would find myself comparing myself to like models that were on there and whatnot. And I just feel like, you know, that wasn't really healthy for my mental state. Being with some of the mental conditions that I already have. I do have anxiety and I do have depression. So just those two things mixed up, plus me looking at, you know, these pictures of these women that I'm like, you know, I wish I looked like that. But I mean, you just gotta love yourself. You know, everybody's beautiful in their own way. You know, obviously looking healthier is preferred. And I feel like I look healthy. Like, I am a plus size person. I am not skinny, I promise you that. I wear a size 16 in jeans, so I'm not a thin figure. So like, I mean, but I still think I look healthy. Like, I'm not overly obese. I am obese, but I'm not overly obese to the point where it just looks like, you know, I really have no will to live. And, you know, kudos to all those people who are trying to work out and trying to make it a better life for themselves in that way. You know, since I've lost the 20 pounds, I feel like I do have a lot more energy. I feel like with my ex, I was just constantly gaining weight. I gained 50 pounds and I dated him for 2 years. We both gained 50 pounds each. And eventually it just got to the point where it was like, you know, am I really eating and gaining this much weight with him? Because I know, like, stereotypically, once you get into a relationship, usually people will gain weight. That's just statistic wise, majority of the people who get into relationships gain weight. But 50 pounds is kind of pushing it for 2 years. Like, wow, that's a lot of weight in 2 years. And eventually I kind of realized, like, you know, I'm not eating this much with him because I choose to. I think I was eating that much because I was trying to I was using it as comfort food, because when I was with him, I didn't feel comfortable. Even though it was 2 years, and in the beginning it was really nice and everything, but eventually it just got to the point where it was like, you know, I'm not happy anymore, and I think I'm really just trying to eat to like fill in the empty space that we have now. So it was just it wasn't a good relationship. Ended up being really toxic. But you know, it's all over and done with now, thankfully. We did get married, so we're just trying to figure out the divorce thing. But that's a whole another thing that I'm not going to get into. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything. I know some people might ask, like, because I've definitely gotten the question before, like, well, if you're getting a divorce, why are you seeing somebody? Let me tell you that I was not seeing this man up until like a month after we officially separated. And he started dating a new girl 2 days after I mentioned the divorce. So I don't want to hear it. So that's why I kind of figured, like, you know what, if he really moved on that quickly, he wasn't feeling it either. And we were just kind of both there just because we were already married, and it's a whole nother process to get a divorce. So I think eventually it just came down to the point where like we're just both avoiding divorce. We're not really happy with each other anymore. And like I said, it was really good in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. I did really have a good time with him in the beginning, but it just, like I said, it collapsed. It just fell apart. It wasn't working out for either one of us anymore. I'm much happier now, honestly. I did not think it would get any better than him. I mean, he was pretty great in the beginning. But, Max, now that I'm with, is like the most amazing person, honestly, that I have ever met. He's just always been there for me, like ever since day one. I remember when I met him, he was really quiet, and I am very open. I am a very outgoing person. I like to talk to the quiet people because I feel like most times they're really, they're nice to talk to. I've met plenty of quiet people. Most of my friends, in fact, are quiet people in the beginning, but once you get to know them, they're always those people that have like nonstop something to talk about, and it's amazing. I love listening to people because I talk a lot too. So I mean, I can go on about like the things that I could talk about and how long I could talk about them for. But with him, it was kind of like he's quiet, so I'll go talk to him, and I talked to him, and eventually it got to the point where I was like asking him like, I don't really have anything to do when I get home. And he was like, yeah, I don't really do anything much when I'm home either, just kind of play games or like hang out with my family and whatnot. So I was like, well, in my mind, I think you're kind of cute. So I was like, yeah, I asked for his number, which to my surprise, he gave me. I guess I didn't really ask for it. I kind of opened up the contacts in my phone and was just like, here, take my phone, put your phone number in. I'll text you when I'm free and we can hang out. Like, that's pretty much how I put it. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So, excuse me. Yeah, he gave me his number, and, we started hanging out a lot, and eventually I was like, hey, I like you, and I told him that I like him in the most embarrassing way. I said, I don't know how to tell you this, but I like your face. That is what I told him. I said, I like your face, because I couldn't figure out another way to tell him that I liked him. And, like, it was one of those moments for me where it was like, I'm very open, like I said, like, I am not afraid to voice my opinion on stuff. I am the person who's usually very open about liking somebody, but most times I do get shut down. So I was definitely ready for him to be like, I know we're friends and everything, but I'd like to stay friends. So I was really ready for that, honestly. I was like ready to just be shot down. But he was like, I like you too. And I was like in the most shock for like a solid 10 minutes. I don't think I responded back to him for like maybe 15 or 20 minutes, because I was just like, he really just said that he likes me back. Like, what did I do? And I'd like reread the message like 3 or 4 times and was like, maybe he meant I don't like you. But he said to at the end, so it wouldn't make sense if he said I don't like you too. But like, I'm telling you, I was freaking out. Like, it was, wow, I couldn't believe that he liked me back. But yeah, I mean, now we're here, so now I think that's pretty much everything that I have to talk about, unless I go off on a rant again about something else that I can think about. But for right now, I can't think about anything else. But like I said, if you guys have anything you want me to talk about or whatever, or if you want to just leave some questions on the comment section, or post something on there that you think would be nice to hear about, or like how I see my views on certain stuff, whatever, I'm game for pretty much everything. So yeah, up until the next video, I guess I'll see you guys later. I really hope you have a good day and everything. Stay safe with this whole coronavirus thing. Be healthy, wash your hands. I know they say like don't touch your face, so try not to touch your face if you go out in public. I know they are recommending you to step outside with a mask on. I know some places by me don't even allow you in the store unless you have a mask on. So just, everybody stay safe, stay clean, showering's good too. Shower and wash your hands all the time. But don't overdo it, because you need those oils too. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys later. So bye.